والله يدعو إلى دار السلام ويهدي من يشاء إلى صراط مستقيم.
Bismillah, wassalatu wassalam, ala rasulillah, wabad. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful. Welcome back again to another of our programs. And I'm your host, Omar Jamaykee. And we've been discussing different affairs that can increase one's iman. And the importance of these things is that the more the person seek to fulfill acts of obedience to Allah, and one is submissive to Allah, then one will find his iman will increase and grow. So, and this is the objective of all Muslim, to always seek to gain closeness to Allah. And this is by fulfilling different acts that are deemed from the acts of iman. And we had mentioned in the hadith before of Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu, may Allah be pleased with him, that he mentioned that the Prophet, peace be upon him, had said that iman is of 70 odd branches. And the height of these, the highest of these branch, is the person saying, La ilallah. The person saying, I bear witness that there is none deserving to be worshipped in truth except Allah. And the least of these branches, the lowest of these branch, is the person removing something harmful from the pathway. And haya and shyness is a branch of iman. So from this hadith, from this tradition of the Prophet, peace be upon him, we have learned that iman, faith, it have different branches, it have different levels. And the Muslim goal and objective is to seek to fulfill as much of these 70 odd branches as possible, as this will increase the person's closeness to Allah. And this is the objective of all Muslim, to seek in all ways, all different forms, how he can become closer to his Lord. And so this is of the lesson that we can learn from this hadith, that a Muslim should seek to know what are these things that is included as a part of iman, part of faith. What are different levels of faith? What are different actions of faith? And when one is aware of these things, then one can put some effort in trying to fulfill them. So the Prophet, peace be upon him, have told us that faith, it has 70 odd branches. And these branches, there are many. So it gives the Muslim many opportunity, over 70 odd opportunity of fulfilling different forms of worship with one main objective, which is getting closer to Allah. So the Muslim have to seek, put some effort in knowing what are the different forms of worship. What are different forms of seeking closeness to Allah? So this hadith gives us this one message, that faith is of 70 odd branches. But what are they? The Prophet outlined that the highest of these is the person saying La ilallah. The person saying, I bear witness that there is none deserving to be worshipped in truth except Allah. So this is the first step. So the Muslim have to know what comes after this. What is in between the highest, which is saying, I bear witness to the oneness of Allah, and the lowest, which is the person removing something harmful from the path. And in between this, there's 70 odd others. So what are they? Included in this is salah, praying. So the Muslim, if he knows that salah is a part of faith, a part of Islam, of act that's help in increasing of one's iman, then the Muslim should be very keen in fulfilling the act of salah. The Muslim should ask, what else is included in this? And we find that these affairs, that they fall into acts of worship, which is one group. That these acts of worship are defined acts of worship that is to be fulfilled in a particular way, in a particular manner, maybe at a particular time, or at a particular place. So these acts of worship could be on a daily basis, such as salah, the 5-time prayer. It could be once in a lifetime, such as the person performing Hajj, pilgrimage to Mecca. Also, it could be on a once in a year basis, which is paying the zakah for those who are wealthy. So the Muslim, in fulfilling the different forms of faith, of these are acts of worship, which distinguish the Muslim and show that the Muslim is sincere to Allah. He is willing to fulfill these acts as a sign of his submission to Allah. So he carries out these acts of worship. So those are one group. Another group of those acts that fall within the different branches of faith are those acts which are acts of our conduct and mannerism. How does a Muslim should behave? What kind of character should a Muslim display? One with the other, or a Muslim with a non-Muslim? Those who are our seniors with our youngsters, a husband to his wife. So these acts that fall in the second groups are actions that form our character, form the type of individual the Muslim should be regarding how he function with others. He deal with others based upon truthfulness. He doesn't go about lying. He show respect to other people's time, and also he try to use his time in a manner which is beneficial and worthwhile. So these are acts of the Muslim conduct, that the Muslim is not one who swears. The Muslim is not one who lies and cheat, as this is not the conduct of a Muslim and not the character of a Muslim. So the Muslim, in following the branches of Iman, it would include that he display certain aspect of this pertaining to his character. Also regarding another group of these acts of worship or these acts of faith are things that relate to the person's belief. What does a Muslim believe in his heart? So this will include things concerning our belief concerning Allah. Also the Muslim having reliance upon Allah in the proper form. Also the Muslim staying away from those acts of shirk, those acts of monotheism, of idol worshipping. So the Muslim avoid praying to graves or praying in a building that consists of a grave, such as a masjid, as unfortunately practiced by some Muslims. So the Muslim have to be aware of those different forms and ways of seeking the closeness to Allah. And the purpose of the Prophet, peace be upon him, highlighting that Iman consists, faith consists of over 70 odd branches, is giving that encouragement for the Muslim, giving that Muslim that push in seeking to complete and fulfill most of these, or if possible all of these, as this will cause the person Iman to raise. It will cause the person Iman to be strengthened. The person closeness to Allah will be closer. So in this hadith of Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu, may Allah be pleased with him, where the Prophet said, Iman, faith, is of 70 odd branches. As this is narration in the collection of Imam Muslim. So the Muslim should bear in mind that Iman, faith, it composes of over 70 odd branches. And the Muslim then should seek knowledge as to what are these different acts that is included in these 72 or 70 odd number, and seek to fulfill them to the best of one's ability. So this is the lesson behind this. And also from the top to the bottom of it, also removing something harmful from the path, which sometimes the Muslim, in fulfilling of his Iman, he look down upon small actions that is beneficial for him in this life and in the next life. So removing something harmful from the pathway might seem something simple, but with Allah, it has great weight. So the Prophet outlined in this hadith of Abu Hurairah, may Allah be pleased with him, that Iman consists of 70 odd branches. There's the highest and there's the lowest. But the Muslim seek to fulfill every aspect of everything that's included in faith, in Iman. As is the Muslim objective is seeking to worship Allah in all the forms possible. So with this, we'll come to an end of this another of our discussion concerning Iman, and stay tuned for the next. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.